What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode. You'll notice a little different here. I'm with my boy Sam Aebli from One Before I Die podcast. They're on Spotify, Apple.
Spotify, Apple, like Google Podcasts. I don't know, like a bunch of ones. Just
every podcast.
Just search us.
Yeah, he does a podcast with his brother Ethan. So make sure you follow them on all social media. Their handle is.
It's at @onebefore_I die on Instagram and Twitter. So go check us out.
Welcome back to Amateur Hour Sports. I'm Trent with my co-host Jake.
I think that is sort of his defining game as a QB.
I just have to say, never go all in on the Raiders ever.
So we got some breaking news. We got Cam Newton signing with the New England Patriots. I believe it's a 1-year, like $7.5 million deal. We're recording this because after Sam and I had recorded ours, of course, Cam Newton signs with the Patriots and changes everything. So we're going to preface the rest of the video with this.
Yeah.
So, Jake, what were your initial thoughts when Cam signed with the Pats?
I thought it was really exciting, honestly. I definitely texted you, and I was like, oh my God, the Patriots are kind of back in business in the AFC East. But I wasn't shocked because I thought the Patriots were definitely going to go after a veteran guy, especially with only having Jared Stidham and Hoyer on your roster. But I didn't think they would pull the trigger before the season. I thought it was going to be in the season kind of thing.
It was interesting. I know Abe's and I dove into it a little bit, but I was thinking, well, if you were ever going to sign a quarterback, they've been going through meetings for like the past couple of weeks and stuff. Like, I would have thought that they would have tried to get ahead of that.
Yeah.
But I guess with a vet like Cam Newton, like, it's not the end of the world if he misses, like, let's even say a month of just these off-season meetings and stuff.
Yeah.
Cam, he can get back into it and understand the scheme and, figure things out pretty quickly. So
yeah,
timing though.
I think it's interesting, just like the timing of it, especially with the punishment from the NFL coming down.
Yeah.
And so like that's kind of getting swept under the rug in like the media because the news of Cam signing with the Patriots is huge.
Yeah.
So I think there's a tactical like thing with that, with Belichick signing him during the time he did.
I wouldn't put that past Belichick at all. But, okay, so let's talk about, like, his impact on the team. A lot of people before this, myself and Sam included, were giving the Bills, like, they're practically handing them the AFC East. How does Cam Newton impact the AFC East? Are the Patriots now the top dog, or is it still the Bills to lose?
I think Cam brings an aspect of, obviously Tom Brady was the old quarterback in AFC East, and the Bills, Dolphins, and Jets all have the young guy. So now we're bringing another veteran in and a previous MVP. And I think Cam's got that skill set where he's like, if you think about how Josh Allen plays, Cam Newton's been doing that for the past, 9 seasons. Yeah. And I think bringing him into that system and bringing him into an offense that has been so rigid with Tom Brady, and then being able to just flip that 100% around, like the Bills, Jets, and Dolphins are going to have to like rethink their whole game plans with the Patriots, because you're not going to have like a game managing quarterback or like a traditional style quarterback. You're going to have a quarterback who can make plays, who can run on his feet. I saw a stat on I think Cowherd show that no Patriot quarterback has ever had more than 75 rushing attempts in a season. So just adding that, Cam Newton has had over 90 in every single season since he's been in the league. That just brings another dynamic that can be put in the offense.
This move was very interesting because I don't think this puts the Pats just at the top of the AFC East, like automatically. They obviously have a lot of people they're bringing back, but they also lost a lot in free agency. I'm thinking about like Kyle Van Noy on defense. First of all, on offense, they weren't really returning many people. You got like N'Keal Harry, Julian Edelman. You got the running backs, just stable running backs.
The Patriots also lost Danny Sheldon on defense to the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
They lost Elon Roberts to the Dolphins. So they lost like a lot of key pieces on defense. I know they drafted a lot, but with that point of the AFC East, I know I jumped the gun. I was like, oh, the Patriots are back, like with
Jamie
Cam.
Collins.
Yeah. Oh, Jamie Collins. Yep.
They lost.
Yeah. But I know I jumped the gun and was like, oh, I texted you. I was like, oh, man, this puts new wrinkle. But then I thought about it. I was like, man, really the Bills have like the most complete like team and roster. If you think about it, we finally developed that offensive piece that we've been talking about for all season with Stephon Diggs. And I really think that our defense is just like coming back and they've just got another year under their belt together. So I think our defense is complete and our offense is like getting there. And it's all up to, it's kind of a lot of pressure on Josh this year just to take that step further. And I cannot see the Patriots, even if Belichick's the best coach in the world, I cannot see them sweeping the Bills or, obviously like going one. I think the Bills will sweep the Patriots and win the league.
Ah, that's pretty interesting.
So I thought we'd, kind of start out the episode here just kind of talking about the upcoming season. Obviously, it's a little bit different this year with the coronavirus, right? With sports haven't been a thing for the past 3-4 months, which is, by the way, absolutely brutal for me. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
But, I haven't been able to do much of kind of honing in on other things. Been becoming a pretty big golf addict. We hit the links this morning.
Yeah. Sam, by the way, I got to give you credit. You killed it today.
Yeah, that was a little, I was kind of feeling myself, but it's usually not like that. I'm not going to take all the credit there.
Straight in, he's got the arc, and my first time in a while, not as great as I'd like, but...
You're good. You're gassing me up all day, so I'll take that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so sports has been kind of on a little hiatus here, but the one sport that's kind of been... a constant throughout all this time has been football. It seems like, the NFL's not budging. It seems that they're saying, we're starting on time, whether you like it or not. I know that last week, the listeners listening on my podcast right now know that we kind of talked about this last week with Dr. Fauci's message saying, hey, hold your horses. We don't know if football's going to be a thing. The NFL came back and said, basically, no, we're doing it. So they've kind of held their ground this whole time. And, I'm excited. Obviously, I want it to happen. I bet Trent's super excited, too. So, with that coming up...
I need it. I need work.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, we thought we'd kind of, look at, the football season coming up, but specifically the Bills. Obviously, they've been very hyped up this year. This offseason was kind of a pretty big offseason for them. Coming off a pretty, I would say, surprising year last year. At least in my opinion, I know I predicted them to go, I think, 6-10 last year. They flipped the script on me, went 10-6. Mm-hmm. So a big season ahead for the Bills. It's gonna be a good one.
Yeah, there's a lot of, if you're a Bills fan, there's a lot of optimism going into 2020. Obviously, a lot of questions in the air as far as coronavirus and how they're gonna play. I'm sure we'll get into it, but as far as the stadiums, the home field advantage, and then. These guys haven't been able to train all offseason together, whereas usually by now they're already they've had rookie mini camp. I believe they're in like their optional mini camps or whatever, and then they're getting ready for training camp, which
is canceled now, right?
It's they wouldn't do it at the facilities, but as far as we know, as of June 24th. They haven't made an official announcement on them, so I think they'll still do some abbreviated thing, and we'll see what they do with the preseason. But yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of questions for Corona, but let's assume, I guess, for the majority of this talk that we don't have to assume fans and stuff, but we'll assume that it starts on time, normal. Right. They're not skipping
all
games.
Games are played.
Yeah, not any of that. But yeah, a lot of optimism, a lot of high expectations for the Bills. Do you think those are warranted? Do you think, as far as the division goes, are the Bills the top dog in the division still?
So this it's interesting because, like you said, there's a lot of hype coming into the Bills season, and Ethan and I have talked about this a lot, and obviously it's something to talk about, especially with Brady leaving the Patriots and the Bills coming off their high season, made a lot of offseason moves, kind of high expectations. And for the people listening, know that when they listen to ours, Ethan's kind of more of a pessimist. He kind of was always looking at it the wrong way. I am a little bit too, but definitely not as bad as him. So I just kind of wanted to outline why I'm a little bit more optimistic for this year and why I am kind of, I guess, jumping on the bandwagon, as you can call it, or whatever, of these Bills' expectations. And I'm going to talk about last season with the positives they had because, like I said, I predicted them to go 6-10 last year. I think a lot of people didn't really know what we were going to have last year with Josh Allen. With the defense has always been a pretty solid piece, but I feel like they played very well last year as well, even better than a lot of people have thought. But they ended up going 10-6. So right there, you can argue strengths of schedule, whatever, who they played.
Yeah.
But when you look back at the season, you're going to see 10-6 in the record books, 4 games over 500. That's not a common thing that you see from the Bills, especially in this past 5-10 years. So right there's a big leap.
Yeah, and I mean they were one game away. That Patriots game last year, it was on that Saturday night.
Yep.
If they would have won that, they would have won the division.
Yep, but I mean both Patriots games we were right in it.
Right in it till the end,
yeah.
And I mean,
well, and then also the Jets game at the end of the season, we threw that one away. So technically 11-5 if you want to get technical here.
Yeah, I think we would have smoked the Jets.
Right.
And playing for the division, I mean, they haven't done that in so long. So it's like, if you're a Bills fan going into 2020, you gotta think. In my mind, they're the top dog. I know that they keep saying Patriots are the top team in the AFC East until someone knocks them off. And sure, I mean you can say that all you want, but as far as expectations for this season go, they should win this division in my mind, and I'm sure in a lot of Bills fans, but also national media's mind. I've seen a lot of predictions for the Bills.
I agree.
Which is good and a little scary.
Yeah, we can hop into that too, because no, I agree completely. I was going to get into that. I do believe that they should win this division. I think it's, like, going off of what I was saying, like, they made the playoffs last year. Josh Allen, he wasn't, great last year, but he showed significant improvement. He wasn't very good at the beginning of the season. Hand up, I'll be the first one to admit that. Yep. But I was on his case at a lot of points in that. But you could tell that he was made improvements throughout the whole year. So taking all of that from last year, that's why I'm, I guess, more confident this year, is because they have something to build off. It's not like a Brown situation last year where they got all that hype from nothing, because the year before that they sucked.
Right.
And then they just turned their roster around on paper and people thought they were going to be good all of a sudden. That's why it's different here, because the Bills already have a solid core. They have a season under their belt that they performed well at. And now you add, Stephon Diggs, you add some key defensive pieces with Epineza in the draft. On the offensive side, you add
Zach
Moss, the running
Gabriel
back coach.
Davis.
I love that. Love that piece.
I think
so. You just add all these pieces, and it just adds on to what they have last year. And then I know it gets overused a ton. Trust being McDermott. But it's overused because it's been true so far. So you have the trust in these guys.
I mean, yeah, they haven't failed us yet. They've made the playoffs 2 out of 3 years. Like you said, I mean, they definitely their team didn't get worse. They got better through the draft, through adding key people on defense. And I saw, I think their overall starting roster is the highest returning. It was 88% of their team is returning, which is the highest in the NFL. And I think the Chiefs are second at 83%. So as far as continuity, especially on the O-line, you got all 5 O-linemen returning. The wide receiver room just got tremendously better with Stephon Diggs,
which is the one thing we, all fans were saying we need a one wide
Everyone.
receiver. And guess who answers the bell? Bean.
Yeah, and they pulled the trigger on Diggs. I mean, Jake and I were saying that all season. I mean, just get Josh Allen a true number 1 and see what he can do. And like you said, I mean, the improvements from last year, it's really encouraging to see. And I think year three for a lot of quarterbacks is where you start to see them. I mean, just think about it. It's you and I we're the same age as Josh Allen, and we've both been in our jobs in our industry for 2 years now. So we're going into our 3rd year.
Right.
And think about where you started. Think about where you are now. How much more knowledge, how much more you understand. You can do stuff on your own. There is no reason why Josh can't continue to build on that. And we've said, he's been a project. We said since the draft he was going to be a project. And all he's done is improve, these 2 years. And now, he has all the weapons around him. He has all the pieces. There's definitely a lot of pressure on him, but I don't see why he can't answer the bell. He's done it, 2 seasons in a row so far.
Right. No, and to that point, I love how you brought up Josh here, just because it is going to all be on him now. I've talked about this before, but like you said, we added all these pieces, and this is the year where, all right, you can't complain that he doesn't have a number 1 wide receiver anymore. You can't complain that he doesn't have competent guys in the backfield. I loved Frank Gore, but his time is up. We got 2 studs now in the backfield, essentially that can get the job done. So this is going to be the year where it's Josh, can you get it done? And I think he can. I think that with their scheme and I hope I hope they can get something rolling, because sometimes, I question Dabble, but, he's back. the offense coordinator, and I know that Josh really loved him. A lot of the players on the team loved him, so hopefully they can build that chemistry and keep it going. But it's going to be 100% on Josh this year, and I don't know, it'll be interesting. But back to the the whole division, because we kind of, I guess, skimmed over that a little bit. I do agree with you. I do think the Bills are the favorite. I do think they should win the AFC East. Am I a little bit nervous that the whole national media is saying the same thing? Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it's never a good thing when everybody's hopping on you and saying that, because that just puts a ton of more pressure on you than there already is, especially in Buffalo, where you go from not really getting a lot of recognition to everybody's talking about you winning the division, where, guess what? The team that's still in your division has won that division for the past 20 years and has won 6 Super Bowls. So, I mean, I think they're top dog. Brady's gone. I don't know what the Patriots are going to do with the quarterback position. I don't know what their plan is. I assume that Belichick and Kraft and all those guys have a plan, which makes me a little bit nervous. But I think the Bills still, it's theirs for the taking. And then if you look at the other teams in the division with the Jets and the Dolphins, I don't know. I think that this is something where we might disagree on a little bit, but I think for the short term, they shouldn't be too much of a problem.
Yeah.
But I think the Dolphins had an unreal offseason, and if Tua can become a good quarterback in the NFL, they're going to be a problem. Same with the Jets. I know that Darnold's kind of had his struggles, but he's almost in the same boat with Allen, where I think the Bills have had a little bit of a better defense, which has helped Allen out. Maybe a little bit better offensive weapons. So Darnold's kind of in a weird boat, but if he can turn it on and the Jets can figure it out, it's going to play for an interesting division.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I think as far as this year goes, I'll be completely honest, especially if Jamal Adams gets traded, I'm not too worried about the Jets and the Dolphins. I don't...
Yeah, what's the deal with Jamal Adams? What, he just wants out now?
He wants out. I mean, I can't blame him. I can't blame him.
Yeah.
Jets are dumpster fire in my mind. I don't think anybody really likes Gase.
You see his press conference last year?
Yeah,
Coach?
he's got the crazy eyes and everything. I can't blame Jamal Adams. I just think they didn't. I don't want to talk too much about the Jets, but they didn't give Darnold, you got Le'Veon Bell, obviously, but they didn't really upgrade that receiving room. They lost Robbie Anderson. They got Brashad Perriman or something like that, but they didn't really do Darnold any favors. They definitely helped out the O-line. But as far as skill players go, I still think he's sort of on his own.
Yeah.
And I if the Dolphins were smart, I don't think they would play Tua at all this year.
I agree.
So as far as them, yes, I think maybe in a couple of years they did definitely. I mean, it's Miami. They're going to land free agents. Who wouldn't want to go play in Miami? But I still think they had too many holes last year. I mean, they still had the 5th pick in the draft. Let's keep that in mind. And they were regarded for a while before Fitzmagic came out as one of the worst teams of all time for until they won the first game.
I feel like that's the thing though, is they were expected to be so bad and they won a decent amount of games.
They were bad. They were No, I like Brian Flores a lot, but they were bad halfway through the season.
Right.
And I think they flopped between Rosen and Fitzpatrick a couple times, but I mean Fitzpatrick came out and they got him a couple wins. I don't really, and I hope I don't regret this later, but I really don't see them as a threat this year. I think they're a couple years away. I totally agree though. I think they have a really solid foundation. And they had a great draft. They had 15 picks or something. So it's hard to miss on 15 of them.
Right. Do you think that all right, so say Jets and the Dolphins turn out to do their thing and they're not contenders. When it comes to the Patriots, do you think that they're gonna go out and get a what do you think their plan is? Because
for this year?
Do you think they're going to be with Stidham?
I think they're going to roll with Stidham. I would think...
Because they still have a solid defense. I think that's one thing people forget about.
They did lose a couple pieces, though.
They did, And one Van Noy to the Dolphins.
I forgot about him. Yeah, Van Noy, and I know a couple guys went to the Lions and stuff.
I think Collins.
Yeah, Jamie Collins. Don't get me wrong, they still have a solid defense.
Yeah.
Can you name anybody on their offense other than Julian Edelman and Sony Michel and maybe James White? It's they have no tight ends. They have Mohamed Sanu's their second receiver, I guess. Right. I'm just not. And then the quarterback, it's just the quarterback for me.
Yeah, the thing is with me is if they see I'm still very much in the camp where if they get a competent quarterback, watch out, because I agree with you. They don't have a lot of offensive weapons. You name their guys, White, Michelle, Edelman, which are, good players, but they're not going to bump your offense up to the next level.
Yeah.
The thing is, they still made it work, right? For the past however many
They
years.
still have Belichick.
They still have Belichick. They still have this kind of aura about them, which is weird. Where it's weird because it's never been like that. I feel like in any other sport, any other team where you lose the best quarterback of all time, you lose, Gronk comes back to get traded.
Yeah.
You lose if you look at their team on paper, you're not really that scared of them. But it's just weird because they still have this, they're the Patriots, they have Belichick, which is crazy to think about because,
I know.
Why should we be thinking about them that way? But we have to.
I know. I think it's funny because it's the same stigma that the Bills had
Right.
that we talked about, but the opposite. It's like
It's like we're going to lose every time.
yeah, like you're always worried. Like, do the Bills have too much national hype right now? I mean, I don't know, but they answered it last year in all the games that we thought they would
Right.
lose. The Cowboys, the Steelers, all those games we were worried about, they answered them. And it's the same thing with the Patriots. It's like it's hard not to think of them being good, but I mean.
At some point, history
On some
has to
point,
change.
exactly, and it's hard to like flip your mind because we've been ingrained in it for 20 freaking years, our entire lives. But if there's ever going to be a season where it flips, I think it's going to be this season, and I guess time will tell.
Yeah, no, I agree.